This is the Old Growler, Pete LaFrance, and we're here in Windsor, Vermont at the Harpoon Brewery, and we're going to be talking to Steve Miller. Steve, welcome to the Old Growler.
Well, welcome to the Windsor Brewery here, Peter. Well, glad to have you.
Super. Okay, would you describe the brewery here?
This facility in particular, I really feel like this outdoor space draws a lot of people in, and even in the winter months, we really did a lot of innovation last year. Again, with the COVID situation, we really tried to develop the outdoor space so that people could be distanced and stay safe and feel comfortable coming. We added propane fire pits. In the past, in the wintertime, our guests really were not excited about sitting outside and in the cold weather, but believe it or not, people really became more hardy this year. So they were enjoying sitting by a propane fire outside. We also built some warming huts, is what we called them. So we have these individual dinings, not individual, it's a seating for 6. So a party of 6 could be sitting inside their own little hut with its table inside, and it would be a full service situation. So the servers would bring them their food and beverages, and they'd have a little heater just to take the chill off, but be in an enclosed space to themselves, away from other parties. Mm-hmm. So we had them set up around our outdoor wood burning fire pit, so you could look through a big window and see the fire burning. It was really a nice situation. You could have the snow falling, and people can also arrive here by snowmobile in the winter.
Really?
There's a snowmobile access trail from the Vermont Association of Snow Travelers system. So pretty much you can travel from anywhere in Vermont on a snowmobile to get here if the conditions permit it. So,
wow.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
That's
pretty
a real destination.
It is, yeah.
Super. What do you attribute your survival over the last 16 months here?
In this front of the house part of it, it's really been about innovation and really creating unique offerings and trying to make it special for the guest and have them feel comfortable and safe given the circumstances we've faced over that time period. So like I said, those things that we added made a big difference. We also, right out of the gate, had to, when the COVID restrictions first came to us in March of 2020, mm-hmm. we, at that point, really didn't have an online ordering system set up, and we didn't do takeout, we didn't do any sort of delivery, we didn't do a significant amount of takeout, we didn't do a lot of delivery, but the governor's executive order closed down our on-premise operation completely, so we had to transition quickly, and really in under a week, both of our facilities were set up for online ordering and delivery setups. So you could place your order from your computer or your phone and come here and do a curbside pickup, or you could come into the facility if you had your face covering on, mm-hmm. and pick up your own order. But we couldn't have people staying here and eating on premise at that time. So that was really quite an effort by our entire retail team at both facilities to get that set up quickly. It was under a week and both facilities had those things happening. Mm-hmm. So that's how we survived the short term. But then beyond that, again, it was setting up the seating in a way where people were comfortable and safe, and making sure that we were following all the sanitation practices, and again, communicating that to the guests so that they were comfortable coming here. And we had a lot of great feedback from people. We also did a few fun things when the toilet paper shortage happened. We were offering a roll of toilet paper with your takeout order, because we were able to get some from our suppliers. So mm-hmm. we did that as a fun offering. We were doing raffles for online ordering. So a lot of innovation happened across the board from all of our retail team. So that really made a big difference for us.
How much of that is going to stay in place?
Some of it is, some of it's not. Some of the regulations, the executive orders allowed us to deliver product to customers, and that's evolving. Some of it will stay. Certainly the online ordering piece we've found useful. Mm-hmm. So we will keep that. Curbside is not a problem for us. We can always do that. If a guest gives us a ring and wants us to bring their items out to them, that's really an easy thing for us to do when we're normally staffed, like we are trying to be now. That's probably one of the biggest challenges we face right now is staffing. Trying to find workers to come in and help us out.
Mm-hmm. What do you think has been the reason that you are so short-staffed?
Well, it's a combination of things. There's a lot of companies that are hiring, so but there are some people that are choosing not to go back to work after the past 18 months. They're doing other things. Things are changing.
What's down the line now?
More innovation. We just keep looking at different offerings, new menu items. We're always constantly changing up our beer offerings as well. As you know, I'm sure you follow that pretty closely, and hopefully you get to try all of the things that we put out there. But we do a lot of different products, monthly special. Each month we come up with a different monthly offering, trying to just keep innovating with the beer line and also with the food offerings, and even our apparel and merchandise. We're constantly changing those things up to keep it fresh. And we like to do, we love to have people here at our brewery, of course. So we're trying to do different programming outside. This week we had the Vermont Symphony Orchestra here on Wednesday night. So they were performing outside. It drew a nice little crowd. People really had a good time with that. We've been doing some brunch offerings on Sundays, and we have live music at different times. So I would ask people to keep an eye on our website and our social media pages to see what's going on and stay in the know. And always sign up for Friends of Harpoon, because then you'll be contacted from us.
How can they do that?
You go to www.harpoonbrewery.com or just harpoon.com also. And you can sign up for Friends of Harpoon that way, and even just liking us on Facebook and Instagram, those messages will get out there to you as well.
Over the next 2 weeks, what are you planning to do here? What events do you have coming up so that folks can...
We're actually right in that time of year where we would normally be hosting our barbecue competition. We weren't sure what the status of COVID would be at this time, so we weren't able to set it up for this time frame. But what we've done is set it up for the weekend after Labor Day. So September 11th and 12th, we are going to be hosting our barbecue festival here at the Windsor Brewery. This weekend, though, tonight and tomorrow, at our Boston facility, we are having a festival. So, we were scrambling to pull that together because, again, things were so uncertain. But we are hosting our first festival in Boston. It started last night. It's happening tonight and again tomorrow night. It's called Harpoon Fest, and it's the first festival that we've been able to host since COVID hit. So we're pretty excited about that. We've got thousands of people coming to the brewery to visit us there, and hopefully they'll all have a great time and be able to enjoy a few of our products.
What would you do different, looking back, that you maybe didn't do?
Well, there's some things like the huts that I mentioned here. I would have tried to do that sooner, but again, it was like we were looking at all sorts of different things to try and experiment with. Those were a real home run, and we did them a little later than I would have if the idea had come up sooner. So that's, we were jumping on things as soon as our teams would come up with different ideas that we thought would be successful. So we were implementing as fast as we could, but that's one of those things that I wish had popped into our heads earlier because of the cold temps. Starting even late October, early November, that time frame, those huts were really, really popular this winter once we got them established. But we built them all ourselves here on site. So that was quite a project. Again, a team collaboration of many people in our facility, both on the retail and production side. We teamed up and got those things done. So you can please check them out when we're done here so you can see them. They're beautiful.
In the fact you're talking about everyone as a team was working here, how would you describe, and I'm going to use a buzzword for this one, but how would you describe the corporate culture here at Harpoon?
Well, we are an employee-owned company, so everyone pitches in together for the success of the company, and to try to do everything that they can to contribute on any level. It's not an us against them at any point in this company. We're all on the same page. We're all on the same team. So we all work together, whether it's COVID times or not. That's been the culture here for forever. I've been here almost 18 years, and it's been that way since day one. It's one of my things I love the most about this company.
And how did the last 16 months, well, actually, how did the close down in last March change or adjust or affect the types of beers that you had in development and developing new beers? How did that affect?
Immediately, I think it caused us to pause a little bit with that, because it felt like people were going for things that they were familiar with and really knew and were comfortable with, because of the sort of pantry loading type of thing happening, where people were buying actually the larger boxes. So we saw some of our 6-pack sales decline, and people were buying more 12-packs so that they would make one trip to the store and have it in-house and available. So that was an interesting transition that we saw then. And of course the draft business kind of just went away at the flip of a switch when this all happened. It was right at St. Patrick's Day, and you know what that's like in Boston. So, so our accounts had loaded up on beer for the St. Patrick's celebration, and that was pretty much canceled. So, that left us in the lurch a little bit with our draft situation. Mm-hmm. But that's starting to rebound now. So we're starting to see more places open up. People are coming out more and enjoying a draft beer on premise again. So it's transitioning back. We're seeing it level back out to more normal numbers of 6-packs versus 12-packs, for example. But definitely people were buying the larger packs and making sure they had it at home. Mm-hmm. But we didn't slow down our experimentation process at all. We were still full steam on looking at different opportunities and trying different beer styles. We have an innovation brewer actually in this facility in Vermont, and he's constantly experimenting with different recipes and putting in front of our internal taste panel first.
So this is your pilot brewery then, in a way?
Both, actually. We will do experimental batches at both facilities.
Oh, I see.
Yep, and we have these, some of them make it to the tap system here. We usually have, at least 3, a lot of times 4 different pilot batches that who knows what they may become, or, they may make it through the one batch and be done. If we get really great consumer feedback on them, it might, or internal feedback, then it may become a regularly produced beer for us. So that's kind of fun for our guests also, especially the regulars that we have, our local following. They get an opportunity to try all these different varieties that they, a lot of people would miss out on if they're not here on a regular basis. Because it is small batch and turns quickly.
Mm-hmm. What's the length of a small batch?
As far as...
how much would you brew when you're doing a new beer? How many barrels do you brew at a time?
That'll actually vary too. We have a 10-barrel pilot system at our Boston brewery, so we'll generally do a 10-barrel batch there. If our innovation brewer is really just trying to do a small test, it'll just be a few kegs worth here on a small system. Mm-hmm. So it varies based on the beer.
And I think I might have touched on this a little earlier, but I'm going to ask again. What are you looking forward to for the next... coming into autumn, what are you looking forward to?
I'm really looking forward to hosting a festival again. I did mention that, but I can't wait to have the barbecue festival. It's my favorite festival that we do at either facility, because we have this gorgeous outdoor space. The teams are a lot of fun. They're great people.
Describe the festival. What goes on?
Normally we have a full-on barbecue competition that's sanctioned by the Kansas City Barbecue Society. We don't have that this year, but we still will have the same type of teams coming here to cook and for people to try. So it will be competition-grade barbecue that our guests will be able to sample. So at most competitions like that, the teams don't usually sell their product. They are there strictly to compete and try to win the prize. Here it's different. We've set it up as a consumer event as well, so it's both. You have the true competition happening, but you're also able to buy from these teams that will actually vend to the public. So that's a pretty unique experience here. So the teams are not just here to compete, they're here to have a good time with us and our guests and share their product, which is what we're doing. We're sharing what we consider to be world-class beer, and they're serving world-class barbecue to our guests also. And we have a variety of bands that come and play throughout the event also. Mm-hmm. It's a really fun outdoor party that we host here every year. So I can't wait to get back to that. I missed it all last year. I'm really glad that we're able to do it in Boston this weekend. Really excited about that part of it. So our guests enjoy it as well.
And you enjoy it?
I absolutely do.
Fantastic.
Maybe you
when you get a barbecue event here, what is your favorite of your beers to have with your barbecue?
Well, it depends on the barbecue that I'm having at the time, because at our competition, they're being judged on brisket, which is by far my favorite, and I would go right for Harpoon IPA to have with that brisket. It's a great pairing. But we also have ribs, we have pulled pork, and we have a chicken category. So, you know, there's a lot of variety there, and you have a lot of options to try for the beer as well. I just wish I could have one with it during the event. I have to wait until we're done at the end of the day, but it's a great thing to look forward to at the end of the festival, to have that nice cold beer.
What is, looking back over the last 16 months, what has been the silver lining to this whole thing?
Well, in general, I think just the ability to communicate remotely, the technology that has advanced so much with that has been really helpful for us, and that's something that's going to carry forward. It's not a consumer-facing thing, but definitely internally we will utilize the different software that we have available to us, and to be able to communicate better with our teams. Because I have people that are working at the other facilities, and that's just a great way to connect with them without having to travel every time. So that's improved communication, I think, and that technology, we have set up our breweries to be able to embrace that. You know, we improved our camera and you know, audio systems at both facilities in our conference rooms, so that we can continue to utilize those things going forward. And as far as retail, consumer facing, some of the things like the takeout ordering, convenience of that, and, you know, embracing the technology that has come out of this whole situation. People reacted quickly, and not only just our teams here, but even our vendors that we use, software, those companies were all over this as well, trying to help us survive that whole pandemic.
So coming out of a pandemic, you actually end up healthier.
In some ways, yeah. In some ways, yeah.
What would be the fact that you wouldn't consider an upscale? What would you say? Can you say that was the downside of this?
Just the human touch and the contact. I think that, you know, just the greeting people, people are afraid to shake hands. There used to be a lot of things like that. I think that less human contact, face-to-face contact, is a bit of a downside. I appreciate the convenience of the video technology and the video conference technology, but it doesn't ever replace the face-to-face. So, you know, that's one of the things that I think was one of the most challenging throughout that time. Is just not being able to see people's facial expressions as much with the face coverings. But hopefully we'll stay away from that going forward with people staying vaccinated. Hopefully it'll keep that down as more people continue to get vaccinated.
Super. Well, listen, I appreciate this, and good luck for the rest of the year, and I'm sure we'll be back to see you again soon.
Thank you, Peter. It's great to have you here.
You bet.